Good evening, everyone. This is Pradeep Mal, Ambassador of Change from GETI, the Global Education and Training Institute, and you are on our disruptive education platform where we have interacted with more than 1,000 educationists in India and all over the world. The Global Education Training Institute ensures good education to children by ensuring good training to the teachers. So we are the premier teacher training institute of India, and this is under the aegis of Dr. Sunita Gandhi, who is our mentor. And we have pre-service and in-service programs for which you can go on to getilearn.org, GETILEARN.org for more information. Today we have with us Dr. Namita Gandhi. She is an associate professor in the Department of Chemistry, Deshbandhu College, the University of Delhi, New Delhi. She is an educationist and social worker. She did her MPhil in chemistry from the University of Delhi. She did a PhD under the joint supervision of Rajasthan and Delhi universities. She started her career in college education in 1995 and has 26 years of experience. She has presented research papers at the national and international conferences. She was on the panel of announcers of All India Radio at Alwar and also in Delhi. She is a TV panelist on social issues. She is on the panel of the GIA, a group of intellectuals and academicians. She deals with social injustice issues. She is on the management of 6 schools in Delhi under Vidya Bharati. She is also the General Secretary of the Consumer Protection Cell. It's a government-registered all India organization working for the welfare and rights of Indian consumers. Welcome, ma'am. And she will be speaking on online education opportunities amidst adversities. Thank you, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you. Good evening to all. Thank you, Mr. Pradeep, for the introduction. At the onset, I thank GETI and Dr. Sunita Gandhi for this wonderful initiative of the disruptive education movement to bring the global education leaders under one platform. Thank you, GETI, for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this movement. And as said, my topic is online education opportunities amidst adversities. Not missiles, but microbes. These were the words of Bill Gates, the co-founder of Microsoft Corporation, in the TED Talk 2015, titled "The Next Outbreak, We Are Not Ready." He predicted that if anything kills over 10 million people in the next few decades, it's most likely to be a highly infectious virus rather than a war. And here we are. On 11th March 2020, WHO characterized COVID-19 as a pandemic, and since then, the mankind is struggling. In India, from lockdown 1.0, starting from 25th March 2020, to the second wave hitting the country, and now the vaccination drives, we have come a long way. COVID-19 pandemic has the entire human race facing never before heard of challenges. Social distancing, quarantine, and stay-at-home orders have never been earlier mandated on such a large scale. Adversities have come to us from all sides, which include loss of lives, revenue losses, lack of supply of various goods, work from home, and navigating government guidelines and regulations. This pandemic has adversely affected our education system. Since the first outbreak, school, colleges, universities, and coaching centers are all closed in India. Millions of learners were in a fix. What we all assumed to be holidays in the start and seemed happy about turned out to be a disastrous mess. But Without a doubt, we had difficult times, but as Albert Einstein once said, out of clutter, find simplicity. From discord, find harmony. And in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. He meant when you face trouble, a problem, or a set of complications, there is always a chance to find a way to resolve them and learn from the experiences gained. These opportunities make for inspired, innovative, and creative possibilities. In this current global crisis and panic, we had to maintain positivity. There's a quote by Rumi that says, instead of worrying to change the world, one should only concentrate on changing himself. Since people were stuck inside their houses for months, there was no ways for kids to continue their studies. Exams were being postponed. Students were deprived of the opportunities to gain knowledge. So the government needed to find an alternative. And with no immediate remedy in sight, we had to adapt to a new normal, which in this case were the alternative learning pathways. Though initially educators, learners, and even the parents were skeptical about the online mode, however, it steadily gained popularity, and in general, gradually the mindset of students, teachers, and parents became positive about this technology driven teaching and learning. Ease of access with respect to computers and smartphones has led to the change in the mindset of people. There are certain legitimate concerns regarding the digital divide in our country, but the fact that India has the second highest number of internet users is encouraging. Though conventional teaching can't be completely replaced by online teaching, but it has to be adopted as it is necessary to achieve academic continuity in the short run. Let us talk about the benefits of this mode of teaching. And number one is the flexibility. In the case of live classes, students can personalize their learning experience by setting up certain aesthetics in their rooms to ensure that the strain of online classes doesn't affect them much. Also, the note taking medium can also be offline or written digitally as per their convenience. They can use tools from the internet even while the class is going on to aid the learning process. Students can even refer to different diagrams or images and make them a part of note making to ensure a better grasp on the topic. Moreover, the facility to take screenshots is also accessible to the students. Classes in many places are happening via sharing of videos by teachers over WhatsApp or YouTube. These cases offer a greater layer of flexibility as the student can revisit any point in the lecture and can also adjust the playback speed. And there is no bar as to how many times can a student view a lecture. This helps in concept clarity as the points missed earlier can now be noted down. Moving on to the next, it is accessibility. The fact that the classes happen over an app which can be accessed on the smartphone means there is more than the average number of attendees who can attend the school. The apps on which these classes are happening have now also started sorting out accessibility concerns, like giving the options of live captioning. Even the chat option helps the more introvert students in raising the questions. If we talk for a girl child, sometimes parents force her to leave school due to long travel times. They can also now study on any smartphone available in the family. Another factor that is known is that smartphones have more accessibility features for people with disability than any physical school, be it like kind of text to speech, live captioning, tapping on the screen, or getting the feedback. And even the vivid details in videos and graphics used in special classes for them help to grasp information better. Next benefit, if we talk about, is about the learning platforms. Use of existing e-learning platforms like Swayam, Diksha, Nishtha, and ePathshala provide training opportunities to the educators. And even the telecast of classes on TV helps people in the rural areas to access classes from a single community center that might have a TV or a neighbor's house for that matter, or even a smartphone. And also, the teaching community has come together to form a nationwide kind of informal and voluntary network of teachers so as to exchange their lesson plans and assessment techniques. Talking about the technological opportunities, this digital education has opened employment opportunities for the youth. Knowledge of coding, computational thinking, big data analysis, and machine learning are the highly sought after skills. Even content providers, according to the curriculum, are required both in school and colleges. New jobs in the field of technology are opening up that need content creators or content promoters. So, this new age skill based learning is getting flexible jobs for our youth. Moving on to efficacy or efficiency. Online education opens up a lot of possibilities for students and teachers alike. Artificial intelligence could open up new possibilities for innovative and personalized approaches. Eminent professors can deliver their lectures across the world in different languages simultaneously by the use of hologram technology, which has now become a reality. Teachers have been using this technology in their classroom to make the learning more interesting for students, and at the same time, students have been using internet predominantly to do more in-depth research on the subjects of their interest. Traveling time is cut and more attention can be given to health or even learning. The information at one click has made the education process interesting, knowledgeable, and less time consuming. Now, affordability. Online programs allow people of a wide age group to learn at their own pace without inhibitions. Various online resources, training programs, and schemes have been developed by the Government of India for students, teachers, and educational institutions. There are pre-recorded sessions which are aired on the television, like Swayam Prabha DTH channels, and even on radio through All India Radio, which cater to a wider student population that cannot avail live online classes. Moreover, a learner has access to unlimited topics and global experts on all subjects online, which is something otherwise not affordable or even not even imaginable for many. Moving on to the next is the increased teacher-student time. Of late, we were complaining about skill gap or unemployability, outdated syllabus, lack of hands-on physical experience, lack of quality educators in our education system. Online education will surely bridge the gap in the education ecosystem and give the requisite amount or requisite room for improvement. This mode of teaching provides opportunities for teachers to interact with students and ask for doubts because it results in increased interaction in less time. But this new concept has its own share of concerns. First one is the digital divide. Around 760 million people in India use a smartphone, which is more than half the population. This is an encouraging fact, but it is also to be taken into account that there are people who don't have access to technology in this country. They reside in poor and predominantly backward areas. For them, accessibility has always been an issue, and online classes make the problem worse. The best solution to this problem entails affirmative action from states, which includes setting up of computer centers and TV centers for the villages and districts which do not have any computer or TV facility at large. This helps in arranging facilities for a greater number of children by grouping a certain number of people together. Private entities can also pitch in. Companies in IT industry even have the required infrastructure and ready with them to invest in the rural sectors. And of course, there are individuals who are ready to serve in these areas in this time of crisis. But the concern of parents is the concentration issue. Parents prefer that their child be as close to nature as possible and far away from these gadgets, which end up affecting eyesight of these kids. It is imperative for young kids that their parents or some adult needs to be involved, who merge the physicality by aiding their child while the child is studying online. This includes the integrating games with classes, setting a reward system, segregating the study space from play space to ensure that the distinction between the school and the study is maintained. But it is not just the kids who face issues with attentively attending the classes. It is the young adults and the adults too. Because that age group is more independent than the kids. They already have and operate gadgets. Thus, for them to create a distinction between online classes and recreation is even more difficult, as self-discipline is tough. So for that to happen, there needs to be concerted effort from the students and the teacher side to make the class more interactive, to ensure that the student is in a way feeling positive in attending classes. Teachers can also involve students in the process by asking them to present on certain issues, but there is a limit of sanity and that must be respected. Another point of concern is lack of practical learning experience. Science and technology programs often include hands-on laboratory sessions. Some subjects involve the dissertation projects and even field trips to complement the theoretical studies. This aspect of learning is severely limited in online education. For this, teachers should try to refer the students to videos where a certain experiment has been conducted and the concepts are explained or performed in the class in front of them. There is no permanent solution for this, but it is imperative that we have to make the best out of what we have got. For technical programs, institutions should provide access to softwares necessary for learning, because many a times these softwares are paywalled and have hefty license fees. A solution for field trips can be to shoot an area once with a 360-degree camera and then presenting it to the students. These are heavy initial investment solutions, but these are necessary for this kind of online programs going on. Another concern is the social skill development. School life includes polishing students' social skill, communication efficiency, and providing them experience and even non-verbal communication. Due to non-personal nature of the online interaction, it becomes difficult to do so. Video conferencing services are trying to solve this problem by making it more interactive, but they still aren't very successful in doing so. Thus, relying solely on online education may hinder the holistic development of the children, and many may underperform later in their personal or professional lives, as such training might not be a part of their developing ages. Then comes the lack of use of innovative technologies. Actually, teachers also feel stressed out due to online classes. They also feel exhausted after a day of classes, and that sometimes leads to not as much exploration of the best possible means to engage children in the classes. And if the class is non interactive, it is of no use to the student. To solve this, it is necessary that first the schools prevent the teacher and the student burnout by making a less rigorous timetable and more breaks to recalibrate. Second, teachers also must try and find different internet sources students can refer to so that they get the written material easily. And innovative techniques like animations or YouTube videos, podcast, and PPTs are the things that hook the children to the classes, as they have got visual and audio feedback which keeps them continuously active during the class. Last but very important concern is the lack of self motivation. This is one of the most, you can say, prominent problems that students face, where they fail to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Hopelessness causes a drop in motivation, which causes a drop in productivity, and which might ultimately lead to a dip in the future prospects. The main way to get out of this situation involves acceptance of the new normal and the realities of life in these dire times. A really sad fact is that many children have faced grief in these times. It is necessary that we deal with it and seek professional help as a teacher if required. Some things to ensure self motivation include scheduling days to include time for self care, both physical and mental, practicing yoga and meditation, or even taking a short break from the studies. It has become a necessity to study online, and hence it is important that we keep ourselves motivated so that as soon as that we are out of this pandemic, we don't land up empty handed, rather have to ourselves a foundation on which the building can be laid. Now, there are the few tips for the students and the esteemed educators. We all are today exploring new methods of teaching and assessment. Though e learning has gained a lot of ground in India, still a lot of training is required for its correct usage. But there's a concern. Are some students getting left behind? But then such questions arise even in the traditional classroom. So, similar to classroom education, this online education also requires self discipline, time management skills, determination, and strong motivation. Students should make it a habit to sit for their online class with utmost sincerity. There might be some problem in understanding a concept at one go, but then slowly it settles. Till now, the younger kids were using e gadgets for recreational purpose. But now to use them judiciously for regular classes is a challenge for both kids and parents. Teachers need to amalgamate online and offline methods, even after the situation improves or normalizes, to create a holistic learning space. Online teaching has the potential. We need to synthesize it in a way that there is no divide and our students can reap maximum benefits. Coming on to the post pandemic education. As we move towards a new normal of online learning, the new education policy also lays a special focus on developing digital infrastructure. It incorporates many points like formation of new autonomous body, National Educational Technology Forum, to oversee the capacity building, develop e-content, and provide a platform for educational institutes and stakeholders, so as to bridge that digital divide in our country and ensure a wider reach of online education in the times to come. Setting up virtual labs and using digital technologies such as virtual field trips and use of visual aids in experiments. Another point is development of virtual classrooms and e-content, so that these smart classrooms will provide a strong platform to initiate interconnectivity through webinars and live discussions. For the benefit of the youth of today and to create employment opportunities, NEP lays emphasis on digital literacy, a whole new set of opportunities for the edtech sector courses, which combine education and technology, are available in English, Hindi, and also in several other regional languages. The world is now moving towards virtual universities, which means no concrete campuses, no physical presence of staff. Everything is organized online, including the education, experimentation, and examination. So the future requires a hybrid model where the accessibility benefits of online education are merged with the benefits of physicality of the offline classes. Online classes has brought education to us without us going anywhere and staying safe in these times of pandemic, and it is more flexible. The COVID pandemic might just have created an opportunity which may be a starting point for great things in future. And it is imperative that we find such opportunities in the adversity to ensure that we remain productive individuals for our nations. Here I am sharing the pic of a father holding an umbrella for the girl child who's taking her online class. We have a variety of such scenes coming up in our national news daily. I end up my presentation by lines from a poem by H.W. Longfellow. Let us then be up and doing. Let us then be up and doing with a heart for any fate, still achieving, still pursuing, learn to labor and to wait. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. That was very interesting, and you made sure that you gripped the imagination of the audience by being brief and to the point. So
Thank
that
you so
was
much.
activity-based learning. Uh, Online education opportunities amidst adversities. Ma'am, can you tell us a little bit about ethics? How about the ethics of both the teachers and the students and the parents? How do you
So,
control that?
yeah, this is what I mentioned when I said that we have this thing and we have to keep this thing in mind, that it has become a necessity now to study online in these case of classes, but we have to keep ourselves motivated. And this self motivation includes taking time for self-care, both physical and mental, practicing yoga and meditation. This you can say for the adults, the parents, and the teachers. For the young kids, I can always say that kids and the parents both have to be very alert. Parents have to take special care when their younger kids are taking classes, and keeping them motivated is one thing which we all have to work on. Another thing, saying about the moral education, we have to moral education, when we are going in the traditional classes, there also you see we face the same kind of problem. Some students are attentive in the class, some do the regular homework, some don't come up with the regular homework. So these kind of things are going on in the traditional classes also, and our teachers, I know, have this thing in their mind. They do it so beautifully. They engage all the children there in the traditional classes. Same is the case here in the online classes, you have to keep them engaged. When you know your assignments are not coming in time, when you know that there is a gap between a student's performance, then you can engage that particular child in giving them or presenting some issue or some topic in the class, and that is how he'll be involved in the class. So I can say that for moral is nothing linked between the only online. It is as well as in the traditional classes and in the online classes, we as teachers have to maintain it.
Thank you, ma'am, for that. And good evening, everybody. And we also have, besides for our GETI programs, we also have Detox, an initiative by Dr. Sunita Gandhi since 2014, Disruptive Literacy Talks, where the mission is to make sure that all Indians are literate and numeric. So this is something that we need support for, and it's basically each one teach one to ensure that all of India becomes literate. For more information on any of our, whether it's GETI or Detox, please call 740-840-1000. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Good evening and goodbye.
Thank you.